Hello lads, last season those of unspecified gender, it's the Irishman here, and today I'm going to be talking about what would have happened if Goku got the ultimate form. Now this what if can happen at two different points, and both would be interesting to talk about on their own, so I will split this topic into parts 1 and 2. This will not be continuing the same story into part 2, but rather focusing on this same idea happening at a different time. The one we'll be covering today is if he had gotten the ultimate form in the Buu Saga, and the one we will be covering in part 2 will be what would happen if he got the ultimate form before the Tournament of Power, as Elder Kai did suggest it for him. After one full day of waiting, Gohan has finally awakened to his mystic form once the ritual is complete. Now, it is time to go fight Buu, and Gohan heads off, asking Kibito to have him make Gohan a pair of clothes reminiscent to his father's. Not that there's anything wrong with the Supreme Kai garb, but he wants his father's gi. He's feeling proud right now. Kibito Shin obliges, before then heading back to the realm of the Supreme Kai, although Goku, realizing that if something happens like with Cell and Gohan gets too cocky, well that's the end. They don't really have any more last-ditch efforts, so Goku devises a new one. He would ask the Elder Kai if he can get the ritual done on himself just in case Gohan fails. Although, the Elder Kai would say that it's a bit too late for that. Gohan, if he does fail, probably won't be able to drag the fight out for an entire day. But Goku says that they don't need a day. They only need a few minutes, before then teleporting himself as well as Elder Kai to the lookout, and then entering the Room of Spirit and Time. The door for the entrance was still usable, and Goku does know how Gotenks as well as Super Buu got out last time, so they don't really need an exit door. All they need is a bit of time, and the ritual to be completed. And lo and behold, Goku now has the ultimate form, but he was right. Gohan has failed and gotten himself absorbed. But they don't actually need to do the fusion approach. Goku on his own can actually go take care of Buu now. Yeah, sure, Buuhan is incredibly powerful, but Gohan now has the ultimate form. And I'm sure all of you are wondering how Goku in the ultimate form would beat Buu, and my answer to that is Kaioken. See, the ultimate form gives you strength on par with your strongest transformation without any of the drawbacks. It's basically like your base form, except now you have all the power of your strongest transformation. This means that Goku can use Kaioken on top of the power of Super Saiyan 3, and it honestly won't affect him at all. It will only actually hurt him as much as Kaioken on top of his base form would. So he can bring it up to levels like times 20 or hell, probably even times 50 and still be fine. So Goku and Elder Kai would rush to the battlefield. Well, Elder Kai would just go back to the realm of the Supreme Kai, but Goku on the other hand would go to face down Buu. And although Buuhan is definitely cocky, seeing as he has an incredible amount of power, once Goku powers up into Ultimate and then says Kaioken, Buu doesn't have much time to actually respond before Goku is laying the beatdown on him. Then, much like how Vegito did, Goku would prepare the same plan, using a shield to then get into Buu's body and rescue all of his friends. Except this time, there is no struggle. Everyone is taken out, aside from Majin Buu himself, as that was actually Vegeta's idea, actually threatening Buu that he would do this, and Goku wouldn't have any need to and probably wouldn't see any good inside of Buu. It's entirely possible he could, but I just doubt it. Now, with Goten, Trunks, Gohan, and anybody else that I might be forgetting in his arms, Goku would hop out of Buu's body, and he would actually just return to Super Buu form. Except Goku isn't giving him any leeway, in terms of absorbing somebody. Instead, he just powers up a Kamehameha, not even needing to use Kaioken, and Buu is eradicated. Everyone would celebrate the defeat of Majin Buu, but it's not like there's no more threats on the horizon. Instead, there's actually one looming currently. Somebody who's looking for the Super Saiyan God. Yes, of course, I mean Beerus. Now, I can't remember exactly how long it takes the gap between the Buu Saga and Battle of Gods. I think there's a pretty big difference between if you watch the movie, the anime, read the manga, doesn't matter. Let's just say a solid 6 months. Goku, in those 6 months, would train with Gohan, teaching him all sorts of different abilities, and the two would bond over the fact that they both have the ultimate form. Vegeta would be feeling pretty left out if he's even revived, but because I like him, I'll say he is. He would debate getting the ultimate form for himself, although he would ultimately decide against it. Pun definitely intended, seeing as that's not really his style. He doesn't like having power handed to him. Goku doesn't either, but at the same time, it's more so your own power being given to you without any drawbacks, so he accepts it. But being the only one without the super cool mystic power, Vegeta would go down his own route. He would hit a wall in terms of Super Saiyan 2 and not wanting to use Super Saiyan 3 because it's ultimately useless, although I think in this scenario he would try something different, mixing Super Saiyan with the Great Ape form. Seeing as it was kind of a form he had slept on for a while, and mixing it with Super Saiyan could actually give him a pretty big lead ahead of everyone else, at least temporarily. Now granted, the accumulation of these two powers only really gives him a form akin to Super Saiyan 3 in terms of power without the massive stamina drawbacks, but that is definitely a step in the right direction. Once he's actually gotten this form under control, and I do think he would actually get a Blutz Wave machine made by Bulma, seeing as if GT Vegeta thought of it, this Vegeta would as well. Either that, or he would use the Dragon Balls to wish his tail back, but seeing as we're going to need those for Battle of Gods, I'm going to say that he doesn't, and instead opts to use the Blutz Wave machine. Now, after actually mastering Golden Great Ape, he would find a new power hidden deep in reserve when coupling these two transformations together. Super Saiyan 4. I'm going to highball this form to be around 10 times Super Saiyan 3. It could definitely be stronger, but it could also definitely be weaker, and you could just use the GT character's higher base power levels to justify it, but honestly, I think this is a fair assumption for the multiplier for this form, around 4,000. Now, this would definitely be incredibly powerful, but at the same time, he still feels like he's behind the rest of the group, or at least Goku and Gohan, seeing as Goku in Kaioken times 10 has about this same strength, so he would continue working on it, although Super Saiyan 4 is definitely a step in the right direction for the Prince. But that's actually not the last character we have to cover before getting into Battle of Gods. Instead, it's Piccolo. He would get his potential awakened by Elder Kai as well. He's never really had a transformation before, and this could be very useful. And after actually having it done on him, he would finally get a transformation that brings him up to par with the rest of the group. And after training it for a while, he would get incredibly powerful, akin to the same strength as Gohan, which is actually really fulfilling for Piccolo. And even though he has to train more than Gohan to keep at the same pace, he isn't really bothered by it, as he always knew Gohan was a bit of a prodigy. Now, once actually entering the Battle of Gods saga, Beerus would still find Goku on King Kai's planet. You might expect him to be training with Gohan, but here, mastering Kaioken is even more important than regular strength training. So he would be trying to, well, master Kaioken from the person who originally taught it to him, as well as just regular strength training. It helps being on a planet that's more durable than Earth, and he can actually go all out in the afterlife. Not that he's dead or anything, it's just that the only real things he has to break here are King Kai's planet and a bunch of yellow clouds, who are possibly Nimbus's cousins. Now, once Goku actually asks Beerus to spar, he does far better than in the original, the ultimate form giving him a power akin to Super Saiyan 3 in his base form, as well as being able to stack Kaioken up to around 100. It's not like Goku has a healing factor or anything that allows him to regenerate faster than Kaioken can damage him, but instead, Goku just has better mastery over the technique as well as a more durable body from longer durations of training. Seeing as Goku in the Namek Saga could use Kaioken up to times 20 on top of his base form, in Battle of Gods, I suspect 100 would be relatively easy. And remember, Ultimate is basically just your base form, but with the power of your strongest transformation. This power is so impressive that Beerus actually considers training Goku right here and right now, or at least having Whis train him. And Goku would bring up that as much as he would want to do that when Beerus offers, he actually has something else he has to do first, but he'll definitely take the cat up on his offer later. Beerus would ask what it is, and then Goku would explain that he's currently missing out on Bulma's birthday party. She always has the best food, the best entertainment, the best food, and Beerus catches that last part, as well as that first part. Best food? Yeah, he wants to go there too. Then Goku would use instant transmission to bring both Beerus and Whis to Bulma's birthday party basically instantly, like the name suggests. This is much faster than Whis' mode of transportation. The entire event is much more chill this time, as Beerus already found somebody that he's willing to train and is impressed with their power, and will probably become the Super Saiyan God after getting God Ki from training with Whis, so he isn't really too ticked off right away. And since Boo isn't there and Beerus can actually get some pudding, yeah, no, he is actually enjoying himself a lot. And Vegeta is doing everything he can to make sure Beerus is having the best time possible. So, Beerus is having the best time possible. Once Goku brings up the idea of using the Dragon Balls to wish to know what the Super Saiyan God is, or bring him here, Beerus would agree. Although, first, he has to win the bingo tournament. This would be the most strenuous part of Beerus' entire 75 million year long life. But after a while, he wins, shouting bingo and claiming the Dragon Balls for his own, then using them to wish to know what the Super Saiyan God is, and Shenron would explain how the ritual needs to take place. Videl would say that she's pregnant, and now they would do their ritual, making Goku the Super Saiyan God. It could be Gohan, but seeing as Goku trains far more and has the ultimate power which should boost his overall training efficiency, he would probably be the strongest here. Plus, it's not even really concrete whether or not Gohan could actually get the form. Now, with Super Saiyan God under his belt, Goku would actually just have it absorb into the ultimate form, which would give him full access to the power of Super Saiyan God right away. Seeing as the ultimate form gives you the strongest version of your transformations, meaning all of Super Saiyan God's power would be gifted to Goku right off the bat. There's no evolving into it, he just gets it like that. The even crazier part is that Goku would actually maintain the healing boost from Super Saiyan God as well, seeing as the form would never actually wear out. Yeah, Goku doesn't love being gifted power, but at the same time, the ultimate form now has all of those abilities from the Super Saiyan God transformation right away, and basically until Goku finds an even stronger power. So, he still has the regeneration whenever he uses his ultimate form now. The reason that this is so important to mention is because Goku took a fatal blow through the chest, and then after like a minute, just went back to fighting Beerus. So now he has that just forever. Honestly, I could probably see Goku, even after attaining Super Saiyan Blue, still having the healing factor since he's stacking Super Saiyan on top of a God form with that healing factor. Now, we aren't to Super Saiyan Blue yet, but Goku in Super Saiyan God, with this healing factor, allows him to use Kaioken up to the same times 100 he was doing before, except now with no strain from Kaioken because of the healing factor, which might make the healing factor a non-factor, until you realize he can just power down from Kaioken to heal and then power right back up. It's like the God to Blue switch, except even more ridiculously effective. And, well, Beerus is incredibly impressed by this, nonetheless. So, yeah, Goku would begin training with Whis ASAP. And once he actually gets a few months of training in, as well as Vegeta, who would decide to participate as well, the two would reach Super Saiyan Blue. Eventually, Frieza would be resurrected, and by this time, Goku and Vegeta would have already surpassed the Super Saiyan Blue levels they were at before. Frieza is drastically underprepared for the can of kick butt that Goku and Vegeta are about to open on him. Goku is so far ahead of his original self, it's actually hilarious. By the time that Resurrection F rolls around, Super Saiyan Blue would have been long since absorbed into his ultimate form, and now he's able to use the power of Super Saiyan Blue with no drawbacks, no stamina loss, as well as a healing factor from the fact that this is a different god form than the one they used originally. And he has an even greater mastery over Kaioken. Honestly, by this time, I wouldn't be surprised if times 100 isn't his highest level of Kaioken he can stack on top of his insanely powerful ultimate form. And Vegeta, well, he's not too far behind Goku, seeing as he would have Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan God relatively early on in his training. He already had Super Saiyan 4 before his training began, and once he gains access to Super Saiyan God, which is an entirely new realm of power, he would find a way to mix them, achieving the Limit Breaker form, probably instead of Super Saiyan Blue, which is incredibly powerful and actually allows him to keep up with Goku. So really, Frieza, who is at the same level he would be in the OG Resurrection F movie, well, he's definitely not getting out of there alive. When it comes to the Universe 6 vs 7 tournament, I really don't think I have to explain how easy it is for Universe 7 to clear the board. Honestly, even with Frost's poison and Hit's time skip, I doubt Goku wouldn't just be able to run the entire gauntlet. By the end of the tournament, Goku was probably the only person that got to fight, and Champa is completely disgraced. But nonetheless, things would still go on as they did originally, except there was never even a hint of Universe 7 losing. When it comes to the Goku Black Arc, I don't really know if it would happen, mostly because the way it started in the original was so absurd. In any sort of what if, it really doesn't have to happen. But if it does, here it'd probably just go the same as it did originally, beat for beat. Nothing would really change with the Tournament of Power either, seeing as Team 7 won originally and they would win here too. There would definitely be some differences, seeing as Gohan would be far stronger than before, possibly even having his beast form, and Goku of course would be leagues ahead of his former self, and Vegeta would have Super Saiyan Blue 4 or something ridiculous like that, but the end is still the same. Universe 7 clears, and honestly here it was relatively easy for them. Goku on his own could probably take out Jiren, not even needing to get Ultra Instinct. The Broly movie wouldn't happen since Frieza would never be resurrected, and the two manga canon arcs I usually don't cover. I know them well and good enough, but probably not good enough to actually make a genuine story out of them, or put them into a what if. And that's where we're going to be ending things for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this, as I certainly enjoyed making it, and part 2 will be coming out sometime soon. And it will be covering the topic of Goku getting the ultimate form, but just a bit later on. Now, thank you all so very much for watching. This is, always has been, and always will be the Irishman. Talk to you later. Bye.